It was past midnight when Clara slipped out for a late-night walk, the moon hidden behind thick clouds. The fog curled around her like fingers, and an unsettling silence hung heavy in the air. As she strolled down the deserted path, a soft whisper broke through the stillness. "Help us," she shivered, glancing around. Surely this was just her imagination, she thought, but the sound echoed again, closer this time. "Help us." Panic surged, yet curiosity pulled her deeper into the mist. Each step felt like a dance with the darkness. The whispers grew louder, more urgent, as if beckoning her towards something hidden. Drawn to a crumbling stone wall, she noticed an old wrought iron gate, slightly ajar. Heart pounding, she pushed it open, revealing a neglected graveyard blanketed in fog. The whispers swirled around her, now a cacophony of desperate cries. "Join us!" Terrified, Clara turned to flee but felt a cold grip on her arm. She spun around, eyes wide, to see ghostly figures emerging from the shadows, their faces twisted in anguish. They were trapped, and now, so was she. The fog thickened, closing in as their whispers turned into a haunting roar, sealing her fate in eternal despair. The family had always loved their old farmhouse, nestled deep in the woods, but as autumn nights grew longer, something sinister stirred in the shadows. It began with faint whispers that echoed through the halls. At first they dismissed it as the wind, until one night the whispers turned into chanting. The parents, uneasy, tried to calm their restless children, but the sound became louder, more urgent. What started as a curious investigation soon turned into dread. They followed the voices, stepping cautiously into the moonlight, hearts pounding. The chanting led them to the edge of a clearing, where the trees twisted grotesquely against the night sky. In the center, a flickering fire revealed figures cloaked in darkness, their faces hidden beneath hoods. Transfixed, the family watched as the shadows danced, their voices rising in a chilling harmony. Suddenly, a piercing scream shattered the night, and the cloaked figures turned, revealing hollowed eyes that glowed with a malevolent fire. With a jolt, the family turned to flee, but found themselves surrounded. The voices echoed in their minds, drowning out their cries for help. They realized too late, the shadows weren't calling them, they were beckoning them home. Lily often heard whispers coming from the attic, soft murmurs that seemed to call her name. Her parents dismissed it as her imagination, but curiosity gnawed at her. One rainy afternoon, with thunder rumbling, she decided to investigate. She climbed the creaky stairs, her heart racing with a mix of fear and excitement. As she reached the attic door, the whispers grew louder, almost pleading. "Help us," they echoed. Lily's small fingers trembled as she turned the rusty doorknob, pushing the door open to reveal darkness. The air was thick and musty, filled with a strange energy that prickled her skin. She took a hesitant step inside, and the whispers turned into frantic cries. "Get us out!" The shadows shifted, revealing old, dusty toys that seemed to move on their own. Among them lay a cracked mirror. As she peered into it, her reflection twisted unnaturally, morphing into a pale face with hollow eyes. It whispered, "We've been trapped for so long." With a gasp, Lily stumbled back, realizing the whispers were the voices of lost children, souls trapped forever. The door slammed shut behind her, locking her in. The attic fell silent, and the whispers faded into the walls. In the heart of the mountains, a forgotten tomb lay hidden beneath layers of earth, consumed by time. Legend spoke of an ancient burial ground, where restless spirits whined in the dark. Driven by curiosity, a group of adventurers stumbled upon the site, their laughter echoing in the stillness. As they pried open the stone entrance, a chill swept through the air, silencing their playful banter. Inside, the walls were adorned with cryptic symbols, and the air thickened, heavy with a damp, ancient scent. As they ventured deeper, a soft whisper curled around them, almost like a warning. "Leave," it breathed. Dismissing it as the wind, they pressed on, the whispers growing clearer, more insistent. Shadows danced at the corners of their vision, and one by one they began to vanish, pulled into the darkness as if the tomb itself hungered for their souls. Panic surged among the remaining, yet they felt an inexplicable compulsion to stay. The last survivor stumbled upon a pedestal, where a rotting skull grinned back, its empty eyes filled with sorrow. The whispers crescendoed into a cacophony, echoing, "Join us." In that moment, he realized the truth. The tomb had not been forgotten. It was alive, and it would never let them leave.
When Lisa inherited her grandmother's house, she was eager to explore its secrets. Dust motes danced in the shafts of muted light, and the air was thick with neglect. As she wandered through the dim hallways, her eyes caught a glimpse of an old wooden door at the end of a corridor. It stood apart, its paint peeling and hinges rusted, as if it hadn't been opened in decades. Curiosity pulled her closer. She hesitated, heart racing, before pushing the door open. A heavy, musty odor rushed out, enveloping her. Inside was a room frozen in time, filled with outdated furniture and yellowed photographs of people she didn't recognize. The silence was oppressive, broken only by her own breathing. As she turned to leave, she noticed a framed picture on the wall. To her shock, her own face stared back at her, aged and distorted. The date on the frame read 1973. Panic surged as she realized the room was impossibly tethered to another time. Suddenly, she felt a cold breath on her neck, and the door slammed shut behind her. Trapped, Lisa turned back to the photograph, now smiling eerily. A voice whispered, "Welcome home." Under the flickering campfire light, 5 teenagers stumbled upon something peculiar while hiking near the ruins, a stone idol, half buried in the moss. Its features were grotesque, mouth twisted in a silent scream, eyes hollow yet somehow alive. Curiosity piqued. They decided to dig it up, laughing at the absurdity of their find. But as dusk fell, the atmosphere shifted. The forest grew silent, and shadows lengthened unnaturally. The air turned heavy, suffocating their laughter. Suddenly, nightmarish whispers echoed through the trees, pulling at their sanity. One by one, they began to see visions of twisted faces and clawed hands reaching from the darkness, pleading for release. As panic set in, they realized the idol was more than just a relic. It was a vessel, and they had awakened it. The ground trembled as the whispers grew louder, promising them knowledge, power, but at a terrible cost. In their frantic escape, they turned back to find one of their own, entranced, unable to break free from the idol's influence. The idol smiled, and as dawn broke, only 4 returned home, forever haunted by the fate of their friend, now one with the darkness they unleashed.